Well, hello and welcome on in, hockey fans, to Katonah, New York. We're not gambling or hitting the indoor water park today. Instead, we're at the Evarts Ice Rink at the Harvey School to watch the New York City Raiders take on the Bedford Bears in an exhibition pitting two former HVHL rivals against each other as both march toward the New York State Play-In Tournament in January. Bears come into today's game with a 2-5-1 record. Among common opponents, the Bears have lost to the South Westchester Blackhawks. Just like the Skyliners, that one was by a score of 3-1 on October 29th. The Bears have also dropped three of their last four decisions, but none by more than 2 goals, and their goal difference overall of 74 goals for and only 35 goals against means they have a high-powered offense and should be ready to skate today. Finally, their My Hockey ranking is nearly identical to the Raiders' ranking, and if such rankings are to be believed, we should be in for a good hockey game today. The Raiders come into this game on the heels of both a competitive trip to the Jersey Shore for the Atlantic Hockey Federation Showcase, as well as a Thanksgiving break. The Raiders went 2-2 at the showcase, taking on 4 different AA teams. Word out of the locker room is that the Raiders were even more successful at the Thanksgiving dinner table, going undefeated against the mashed potatoes, dinner rolls, and most impressively, the cranberry sauce. Programming note for you, subject to carrier restrictions, Midnight Sports will have coverage of the New York City Cyclones 16U girls team as they take on the Shoreline Sharks following this game at 4:05 p.m. today. Also, tune in tomorrow morning as these New York City Raiders take on the Peconic Wildcats in an outdoor game. But first, keep it right here on Midnight Sports, where it'll be the New York City Raiders against the Bedford Bears. Period one's puck drop coming up next after a word from our sponsors. Today's game on Midnight Sports is made possible by USB cables. Hockey fans, do you have some loose cables lying around your house? Of course you do. You're a red-blooded American. In fact, your house is mostly just loose cables. But have you ever made the mistake of getting rid of a USB cable? It may be days or weeks later, but invariably, you'll regret it. That's right. Just when you need that cable the most, you'll remember you announced in a fit of rage, "Why do I have all these cables?" right before you throw a handful in the trash. USB cables. You'll only need one of us, but you'll have to keep all of us. Well, our thanks to our sponsor, USB Cables, and they've provided us with an extended look in at warm-ups here today, with still 3 minutes left to go on the warm-up clock. You'll see your New York City Raiders in their dark blue road uniforms, and the Bedford Bears wearing their home whites. So keep on watching. Enjoy these warm-ups, and we'll be back with you here in just under 3 minutes. Well, there goes the whistle for the end of warm-ups. throw presumably 15 minutes on the board here as the Raiders pick up some pucks in their own end. And then they'll dial it in at the bench and get some last-minute strategic advice from Coach Coffey, Coach Marchuka, and Coach Gosler. Well, we're up in the skybox here today at the Harvey School's Ice Rink, Evarts Ice Rink in Katonah, New York. As you can see, it's a beautiful barn. Gives us just ever so slightly an obstructed view, but I gotta say, folks, it's quite nice to be warm at one of these games as opposed to ice level, not giving you the view that you want anyway. So apologies for the obstructed view, but alas, my feet are warm and I appreciate it. All right, skaters left the net, filled up the puck bag. Let's see who rolls out here for the national anthem. Well, we're going to get an anthem here with just 2 minutes left to go on the clock. Not sure you're going to be able to hear it over the broadcast, but we'll listen in. All right, that'll do it for the anthem, and we got period one's puck drop coming up right now. 27 seconds left to go on the warm-up timer. The referees get ready. Here at center ice, looks like we've got two linesmen out there today. No orange stripe. I'm sure someone would be happy to take over the headman role. Raiders continue to get ready at their bench, as do the Bears of Bedford. Snapping those helmets back on, pick up some gloves, and we'll get 5 skaters aside out there to kick this one off. Reminder, folks, this is an exhibition. Bedford is in the Hudson Valley Hockey League. The New York City Raiders are in the Long Island Amateur Hockey League. These two teams could meet in the state play-in tournament in January. It's a good measuring stick today to see where both teams are. They've both had some success in their own divisions. And it looks like it'll be Speaker in the cage today for the Raiders. And a starting lineup of Petrosinelli, Gosler, Tanoff, Meyerwich, and Marchuka at center ice. Bears have their 5 skaters out there now. And we should be ready to roll here momentarily. Goalie checks, scorer check, and we have puck drop for period 1. One there by Bedford back, taken over Marchuka at center ice. He dumps that in once he gains the red line. Puck continues to roll there. Raiders swoop in. They're in the slot. Quick shot. That's a score. Oh, my. That's a Raiders goal to start this game. That's Jack Petrosinelli curling in the high slot there on Bedford after a bobbled puck at the blue line. And the Raiders get a quick one just 11 seconds into this game. It's Raiders 1, Bedford nothing. Well, Bedford's going to look to shake that one off very quickly as all the same skaters stay out there. Puck now comes near side, center ice. The Raiders try and work that forward. Marchuka again on the puck. He's got Petrosinelli trailing, but now Bedford breaks back the other way. It's Bedford on a 2-on-2. They gain the zone. They're trying to get on the forehand as Bedford. Cut off there by Tanoff, and the puck goes up and out of play, and we'll get a stoppage just 17 seconds into this game as a deflection off a quick Tanoff stick finds an unplayable area in the rink. It's going to be a defensive zone faceoff coming to Speaker's left. Raiders will get some new skaters out there. It's going to be Bizarro, Berliner, and Samosi as the forwards, Steinfink and Koslewski as the defenders. Puck's dropped. Bedford wins it back. It's 6 at the far dot, and now it's taken over there by Berliner. Berliner through neutral ice. He's got Samosi with him. He dumps it in once he gains the red line and gives chase. Berliner on the forecheck now. Berliner all the way into the offensive zone. Tries to curl around near side. Bedford reverses. Now it comes to Bizarro. He tries a quick jam shot. That puck's going to go all the way down to the other end of the ice, and it looks like it'll be an icing. It is. It just misses the cage. And so at 14:20 left to go here in the first period, Bedford ices the puck. It'll be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. Now, that was a quick jam attempt there by Dom Bizarro, but the Bedford goalie was wise to it at the near post, and we play on. Still Raiders 1, Bedford nothing. Berliner now at the near offensive dot. He wins that back to Steinfink. Steinfink at the near point. He's got the puck there. He shoots it in, looking for a deflection in front. Doesn't hit anyone. Bizarro goes to collect at the end boards. Still at the end boards now. Bizarro has a puck roll off his stick. Quick swipe there by Berliner on net. Saved by Bedford. Bedford now working hard behind their own net. Looks like the puck's frozen there. It still looks to be loose as the players jostle for it in front, but we get a quick whistle, keeping the players out of harm's way as they were jostling in front. And at 14 minutes even, we'll get another offensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Folks, a reminder, you're watching Midnight Sports. Upstate, downstate, or out of state. If it's youth hockey, it's Midnight Sports. Marchuka wins that faceoff back to Tanoff. Tanoff tries to fire it in, hits a shin guard in front, goes wide. Now Kalemba to track it down in the far corner. Kalemba tries to reverse over to Marchuka. Marchuka eliminates his man. Vigliotti tries to get that out in front. Instead, Bedford will break out of their zone. They're going to skate this out of their zone all the way through the neutral zone. And Aiden turns. Aiden turns in his own zone, takes the puck off his man at least momentarily. Bedford gets it back at the end board. Speaker down in front. Puck rolls through the crease. No harm, no foul as Marchuka picks it up, though, and comes back the other way through the neutral zone. Marchuka's got Vigliotti trailing him, and he's got Kalemba on the wing. Marchuka takes it all the way deep into the zone, looking into the crease for Kalemba. Can't connect. Kalemba gets it back, though. Sends it over to Marchuka. Now Tanoff at the near point. Tries to recover the puck. He does. He's at the blue line. Sends it in a little bit deeper and then chips his own pass forward, looking for a man in the high slot. Vigliotti tries to cut out any breakout there. He does momentarily. The Raiders will have to get out of the zone, and now Marchuka will dump it right back in. Marchuka dumps it into the near corner. The Raiders will go off for a change. Tanoff stays out there to gum up any forward progress there by Bedford. Bears will have to turn in their own defensive zone. They try and pick it up on the backhand. Berliner in on the forecheck. Berliner still on the forecheck there. Puck comes over to Fauci. Fauci takes his man out of the play, and now Berliner goes to pick it up in the offensive zone again. Berliner looking to chip that puck up to the point. Instead, Bedford's going to work this out of the zone. And then Finkelstein takes over momentarily at the offensive blue line, but Bedford's going to come with speed the other way. Bedford's got speed all the way into the zone. They're in a mini break there. Speaker's able to shut down that mini break, and Bedford keeps the offensive zone, though. They've got it at the far point, does Bedford. They dump it back in. 12:27 left to go here in the first period. The Raiders look to work this out of the zone. Unable to do so just yet. Puck's still at the near half wall here. Obstructed view. Take my word for it. Now at the near point. One dance and then two. Bedford tries to curl into the high slot. They just send a long shot in on Speaker. It handcuffs him there, but he deflects it to the end boards. Now Bedford looking for a slot pass. Bedford looking into the crease. Puck pops up, but stays behind the cage. It'll be taken over there by Berliner. Berliner on the puck. He's on the backhand, trying to work that puck up farther. He does. Sends it all the way through the neutral zone. We're going to get an arm raised here for icing as the players sprint down to try and collect the puck. And Bedford gets there first, and we get the call as the puck just crosses the end line. It's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Now it'll be Marchuka, Steinfink, Aiden, Meyerwich out there as the Raiders skaters. 11:54 left to go here in the first period. Marchuka wins that faceoff back to the far corner. Aiden sends that around to Steinfink. Steinfink picks it up in the near corner, tries to work it up to the half wall. He works it up to Petrosinelli, who chips it farther. Now Marchuka pours into the offensive zone. He's got Petrosinelli firing with him, but he doesn't quite have possession of the puck yet. It's at the end boards, all the way around the Bedford cage. And now Marchuka will have to curl the other way. Puck taken off his stick momentarily. He's working hard to get it back. He's in the near corner, tries to reverse again to keep the zone. Bedford working hard down the corner to chip that out. Puck comes up on the referee and then out of play. And so we'll get a stoppage in play here with 11:23 left to go. Excuse me, not out of play, into the goalie's glove, harmlessly that is. And we'll get another stoppage in play. It'll be Marchuka to take this faceoff. Marchuka wins that faceoff. And Meyerowicz tries to pour that in farther. Meyerowicz now at the near half boards, battling his man, trying to get that puck in deep. It comes out of the zone. Aiden curls in the neutral zone with it. He's waiting for his teammates to clear the offensive zone. He waits some more, tries to gain the red line. Instead, feathers it up to Meyerowicz, and Meyerowicz tries to send that puck in farther. Meyerowicz on the puck now, but we're going to whistle here for a penalty. Let's see who's going to go to the box. Unclear who was touching the puck at that time. But it looks like it's going to be Meyerowicz going to the box. For 2 minutes. Unclear. Well, let's see. That's going to be a 5-on-4, but the Raiders have 2 men in the box, so it must have been a 2-and-10 called there. And we'll get a stoppage here as the scorekeepers try and get that set on the board. 11:02 left to go here. Berliner sent off the ice. Unclear. Must be because he doesn't have a mouth guard. Must have come out and lost it. Now he's looking for it. Certainly he had one to start the game. In any event, still waiting to get set here as the referee discusses what's been going on with the scorekeepers. Regardless, it's going to be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. They're going to be down a man, up a goal here with 11:02 left to play in this first period. Pretty active first period, given the goal at 11 seconds. And then the continued discussion between the players and the referees. Well, here we go. Near face-off dot win there for Finkelstein. He's going to be able to pass this out of the zone as the Raiders look to kill all 2 minutes of this penalty. Bedford comes right back into the zone. Harassed there. Nice back check by Samosi. Bedford still trying to come back into the zone. They try a quick shot on Speaker, unable to win that shot and get it in the back of the goal. Speaker goes post to post. It's still behind the net there. Quick pass comes in. A wonderful stick there again by Samosi. Jams that up, and Samosi's going to break through the neutral zone with the puck. He's got possession and then loses it at the blue line to kill more of this penalty. Bedford now through the neutral zone, trying to get over past Finkelstein, unable to do so. Finkelstein breaks it back into the offensive end. Finkelstein on the puck, loses it there. Still killing the penalty are the Raiders, and Samosi tries to eliminate his man. Handoff can't quite work it farther, and Bedford will come away with the puck in their own zone. Bedford still on the puck. Bedford through the neutral zone now, fires it in. 1:06 left to go on the kill here for the Raiders. 10 minutes left to go here in the first period. Finkelstein will take over at the far corner. Finkelstein on the puck, tries to work it past his man, hits his skates at the far half wall. Bedford now dances in. They're at the far dot as Bedford looking for a pass into the slot, and now they're going to go post to post. They tuck it in. Oh, the first shot saved by Speaker. The rebound comes right back to the shooter, and they're able to go right up and over the leg pad of Speaker and tie this game up on the power play. It's 1-1, 9:51 left to go here in the first period. Well, if at first you don't succeed, try again, and that's exactly what happened there for Bedford. Get a little camera adjustment here as we seem to be off our axis ever so slightly. All right, well, it's 1-1. 9:51 left to go here in the first period. It's a power play goal, and it'll be Marchuka who wins that back to Steinfink. Steinfink on the puck, tries to work that farther into the neutral zone, taken over by Bedford. Bedford shoots in on Speaker. He kicks that over to the corner. Bedford will pick up again. Bedford can't work it up past the near point. Pizarro takes over. He's streaking through the neutral zone now. He's got a 3-on-2 developing. Goes into the slot, shoots high on the Bedford goalie, and it's frozen there. No rebound coming. Good shot by Pizarro. Better save by Bedford. Clock didn't tick on that one. 9:51 still to go in the first period. We've got a 1-1 hockey game. Marchuka now at the near dot. Take my word for it. As far as you're concerned, it's just a 2x4 at the near dot, as well as a 2x4 facing the near dot, and a 2x4 for the referee. Bedford wins that face-off for it. It's shipped right back in by Koslewski. Koslewski now tries to work that puck in farther, crosses the blue line just before the Raiders men were able to leave the zone, and we'll get an offside call with 9:34 left to go here in the first period. Marchuka now wins that forward, comes back to Koslewski. Koslewski has it in the neutral zone. He dumps on in. Puck goes all the way around to the near corner. And Bizarro gives chase. It's at the half wall there, and Bizarro's able to reverse over to Samosi. Samosi picks it up on the forehand. He looks in front for a teammate. Hits a shin guard there. Bizarro can't quite corral the puck, but he is able to send it farther into the offensive zone. Puck now comes up to the half wall, and now the near point. Steinfink works that puck in deeper to keep the zone. Bizarro all over the puck there. His man all over him. Bedford comes away with the puck momentarily, and Marchuka dumps it right back in. Bizarro curls in the near corner to try and get that puck around front. He finds Samosi. Samosi, bad angle shot there. Real tight angle, covered up by the Bedford goalie, and we'll get another stoppage in play at 8:57 left to go here in the first period. Well, some good pushback there by the Raiders after the Bedford goal. And it'll be an offensive zone draw again for the Raiders. Berliner over the near dot now. Tries to win that back to Aiden. Instead, tries a no-look backhand shot on goal. Hits a shin pad in front, but shot comes up and over by the Raiders there. Looks like that was Lorenzo Vigliotti. That's a Raiders goal. That's Lorenzo Vig 20 if you're following along on Instagram, folks. Lorenzo scores there, and it's Raiders 2, Bears 1. First period, 8:51 left to go. The Raiders have reestablished their lead. Berliner now over the near dot. Center ice dot. Near to me, given the skybox view. Gossler tries to work that up farther through the neutral zone. Berliner works it into the offensive zone, but not deep just yet. Puck sits at the near point. Still at the near point is the puck. Bedford's trying to scrape that puck out of the zone. Vigliotti shoots it all the way across the ice in the offensive zone. Unable to keep the zone are the Raiders, and Aiden will go point to point with Gossler. Gossler works that up to Colombo, chips it in farther just to the blue line. Now Berliner tries to take over the puck near the blue line. On the backhand, then to the forehand, he works it in, but it's going to be offside there by the Raiders as the puck bounced on Berliner, and the Raiders were unable to keep from entering the zone before the puck. Well, 8:20 left to go here in the first period. It's going to be a draw just outside the Raiders' offensive zone. Marchuka wins that to Fauci. Fauci works it right back to Marchuka. Marchuka now dumps that puck in deep and gives chase with Finkelstein. Finkelstein fires in on the forecheck. Tanoff over at the near point to try and cut off any zone exit. Fauci gums up his man, and Marchuka has the puck just roll off his stick, and Bedford's going to break out the other way. Bedford on the puck now. They're trying a long shot in. Instead, they're able to just jam it all the way to the end boards. But we're going to get another call here on the Raiders on that zone entry by Bedford. It's going to be a penalty. We'll see who's going to the box. It's going to be a trip on Nate Koshlewski. He's going to go to the box for 2 minutes. The Raiders will look to have a hardier penalty killed in their first attempt when Bedford scored to even up the game. Well, 7:56 left to go here in the first period. 2 minutes on the clock for that penalty. Marchuka to take this face-off. He's got Gossler and Tanoff with him, as well as Fauci. Gossler takes that puck after the Marchuka face-off win, tries to work it over to Fauci. Fauci in, he's got 2 men around him at the near half wall. Now the puck comes into the slot. Cleaned out there by Gossler, never reached the goal, and now Fauci skates hard. Fauci into the offensive zone to track down that puck. Bedford just beats him to it and reverses up almost out of the zone, and now they're going to skate this out of the zone. Raiders get back in position. It's 3-on-3 as Bedford curls. Nice back check there at first by Marchuka. The puck rolls all the way to the far boards. Now Marchuka tries to pick it up at the far half wall. Bedford comes away with it. They dance into the slot, and they come right up into the slot, and that puck saved first by Speaker, and then it's in. All the players stop there. Bedford, they made the initial shot, and there was a save there, but then jammed home was that puck. And we have a 2-2 game with 7:14 left to go here in the first. Well, it looked like be a toe save there on the Bedford shot, but the puck just sat in the blue paint. And it ended up in the back of the net on the second try. Bedford wins the ensuing faceoff. Bizarro tries to take over in the neutral zone. He was able to work it over to Petrosnelli. Had his stick lifted at first, but then he's able to send that all the way into the offensive zone. Bizarro tries to take over again. Bedford comes away with it. Now they're through the neutral zone as Bedford. Samosi on the quick back check, trying to lift his stick. He's able to eliminate his man, out of the play at least. Puck comes to the end wall, all the way to Samosi. Samosi on the forehand. Looks to use the boards to get that puck up. Instead, the puck hops off his stick, and Aiden takes over. Aiden on the forehand now in the near corner. Still Aiden. He's able to chip that puck up all the way to the red line. Bizarro on the quick forecheck. Bedford has to go man-to-man, point-to-point that is, and then they dump it right back in. Now it's the Raiders trying to cycle the puck around to the far side. Bedford gets there first, tries a slot pass. Puck sits in the mid-slot there until Steinfink comes away with it. He's going to be able to skate this out of the zone. He does. Works a pass to himself, but hits a Bedford man at the last second. Bedford dumps in. Icing wave there. 6:20 as the clock continues to tick. 2-2 in the first period. Raiders will break this out of their zone on the stick of Jack Petrosinelli. Petro has the puck. He's on the forehand. He crosses the blue line. Look out for this shot. He dangles one man, but can't beat the last man. Shot's not coming. Now the puck comes up to Steinfink at the near point. He's going to have to turn around and exit the zone to pick this up. Comes all the way back into the defensive zone to get it. Curls behind his own net. He's on the forehand behind his own net, looking for support. He's pushed out onto the forehand. He's able to use the boards and find Bizarro. Bizarro now through the neutral zone. Bizarro skates across the red line. Now he's across the blue line. It's 1-on-3. Bizarro buying time for his changing teammates at the far half wall. Bedford does finally take over possession there. Unable to work it out of the zone just yet is Bedford, and they'll have to curl. Instead, Berliner has the puck. He's got the puck onto his forehand. He tries to shoot it in. Rolls off his stick at the last second. Now the puck in the blue paint. Raiders still can't pop that in. They've got the puck on the stick of Koslewski in the mid-slot. He's able to work it farther to keep the zone. Raiders really buzzing here around the Bedford net. Still buzzing. Berliner takes over. He works it to the near point. Koslewski tries a long shot in. He hits the goaltender. The puck goes to the near corner. Puck's now at the near half wall. It pops out to Bizarro just behind the net. Now Bedford takes over. Bedford with possession. They're going to skate this out of their zone. Bedford with speed now. They get hooked a little bit. No call. And Bedford's just going to try and dump this puck in. Vigliotti, though, takes it over at his defensive blue line. Now Vigliotti through the neutral zone. Vigliotti skates up, and he dumps that puck all the way in. And Bedford quickly turns it around and gets it out of the zone. Koslewski waits for everyone to clear, and then he dumps the puck into the offensive zone. Koslewski stays at home as the Raiders try and forecheck that puck and keep it in the zone. Instead, Vigliotti comes away with it in the neutral zone, and then Gossler. Gossler works that over to Kalemba. Kalemba now with the puck. Kalemba skates across the blue line. He's on the backhand trying to work that puck farther. Instead, Bedford comes away with it now. Bedford looking for a home run pass. Marchuka cuts that diagonal pass out, tries to work the puck farther. Instead, Bedford turns it right around in the neutral zone and dumps in. Now Bedford comes in. Koslewski on his man, trying to work the puck out. He now has support with Fauci. Fauci on the forehand tries to work that puck off the near half wall. Instead, puck comes into the slot, and it's popped up and out of play there. Looks like either off the glove of Gossler or Speaker, but that puck popped up and out of play with 4:06 left to go here in the first. Well, near dot defensive faceoff for Marchuka. He's got Fauci out there. Marchuka wins that faceoff over to Aiden. Aiden works that around to Finkelstein. Finkelstein tries to pick up the puck at the far half wall. He's got a man draped all over him. Marchuka in for support, comes up to Tanoff. Fauci's able to lift the stick of his man, and that puck leaves the zone. Bedford takes over possession again. The Bears have it in their own zone. They work that up to neutral ice, but no farther as it hits a skate and is going to roll all the way in on the goaltender, who just sticks that aside. Some heavy hitting behind the net. Now it's reversed by Marchuka over to Fauci, but the puck is chipped up to the blue line, not out yet. Aiden has the puck now. Aiden's able to dump that puck in deeper to the end wall. Puck comes all the way over to Marchuka, who tries to work that puck up to Finkelstein. Instead, Bedford comes away with it. They're through the neutral zone as Bedford. Heavy hitting there after the pass is made. No call. Raiders try and take over the puck. They do. Fauci now with the puck on the forehand, looking for Marchuka at center ice. Marchuka tracks it down at the center ice dot. He evades one hit. He still has the puck, and he's able to get that in deep. Raiders defensemen are able to make a change behind the play. Finkelstein in on the forecheck. Puck comes to the near half wall, and it comes all the way out of the zone. Some heavy hitting there. Marchuka looking for his man. But we're going to get a whistle. And it's going to go against the Raiders. This will be the third Raiders penalty. They're currently 0 for 2 on the penalty kill. It'll be Marchuka going to the box with 2:59 left to go here in the first period. Well, some disagreement from the Raiders bench about that call. It looks like Coach Coffey may be exiting this game a bit early after trying to protect his players out there on some of the calls that are being made. Well, it'll be Coach Marchuka and Coach Gosler out there on the bench for the duration of this game. All 33 minutes left of it after Coach Coffey, trying to protect his players, disagreed with a few of the calls and a few of the non-calls made out there in the first period today. Now, for those counting at home, that's the third Raiders penalty to none on the Bedford side. And it'll be Marchuka to the box for 2 minutes. Petrosinelli, Koshlewski, Steinfink out there right now. We'll see who the fourth skater is for the Raiders. Well, unclear. Might be a 5-on-3 upcoming here as Fauci hops over the wall into the box. Yep, it's going to be a 5-on-3 for the next 2 minutes. And Bedford wins the ensuing faceoff. They're up at the far point. Bedford still with the puck. Looking to get that into the slot. Shot comes in on Speaker. He saves that to the end wall. Not sure he knew much about that, but the puck still did not end up in the back of the net. Now the Raiders look to take over. Petrosinelli has the puck on his stick. He's able to get that out of the zone. Bedford's going to have to clear the zone on this 5-on-3. Bedford tries to go reverse to the weak side. Puck bobbled there momentarily and then chipped right back out by Nate Koshlewski. Petrosinelli picks up the puck now in the neutral zone. Takes a hit to try and work that puck in deeper, and Bedford comes away with it in the neutral zone. Still Bedford, they gain the offensive zone. They try and work in on Speaker. Speaker makes the save there on the 5-on-3, then a second save on the rebound. Now we've got a call coming up on Bedford. It's going to be a trip on Bedford against the Raiders. So we'll be down to 4-on-3 hockey with 2:18 left to go here in the first period. Well, it'll be an offensive zone draw coming up for the 3 Raiders skaters against the 4 Bedford skaters. And there's still 1 minute and 19 seconds left to go on the 2 Raiders penalties. Berliner over at the far dot. He's got Tanoff and Aiden out there with him. Berliner tries to win that forward. He's strong on his stick, but 2 men are able to take it off of him. Now Bedford pours the other way. Still up a man is Bedford, and there's a lot of ice out there now. Aiden curls around. He's going to be able to send that all the way down to the other end of the ice. We'll get a quick icing call. Still 1:04 left to go on the double penalties to the Raiders, and 1:45 left to go on the penalty to Bedford. That'll be Berliner at the far defensive dot. He still has Aiden and Tanoff out there with him. Berliner now, puck on his stick, is able to work that up past the blue line and dump it in once he gains center ice. Still Berliner on the forecheck. 2 Bedford men all over him behind the cage. Berliner doing it all himself right now. He works that up to the near point. Tanoff has the puck. It comes just out of the zone off his stick. And now Tanoff will have to cycle that back in just a half second too soon. But he had a man all over him. Sometimes there's a good offside to take, and that was one of them, as 2 Bedford men looking to push the puck off of him. And it's going to be an offside call with just 1:42 left to go here in the first period. 44 seconds left to go as the Raiders are down a man. It's going to be Berliner just outside the offensive blue line. Aiden and Gosler with him. He wins that back to Aiden. Aiden with the puck on his stick. Tries to backhand that past his man, but he's able to cut out the ensuing breakout pass at least momentarily. Now Bedford comes the other way. It's a 2-on-1 as Bedford stays on side, but one man blows a tire, and Gosler's poke check takes the puck off his man at least momentarily. Bedford tries to cycle it back to the point. Berliner all over his man in the neutral zone now. Bedford's going to have to hurry to get it back. Berliner kicks it farther to himself. Berliner on the puck. Can't quite get it on the end of the stick right in front of the goal mouth, and Bedford survives to fight another day. We're going to get a big interference call here. We'll see who's going to the box right now for the Raiders. Well, it looks like it might be Berliner going to the box right now for interference at 1:07 left to go in the first period. Let's see. No, that's a Bedford interference call. So now we're even up. It's 3-on-3 hockey out there. And if you like the skills competition, this is one of them. 1:07 left to go here. In 9 seconds, 2 Raiders will come out of the box, and it will be a 5-on-3 for 41 seconds in the Raiders' favor. Koshlewski on the puck, tries to work it farther. Instead, Bedford comes away with it with speed through the neutral zone. Cut out nicely there by Petrosinelli. But we'll get another call here. Looks like it's going to be a late hit call there. And now the referees trying to get control of this game. Petrosinelli on the late hit, according to the referees. They're going to call interference there. They didn't appreciate the puck being fired across the ice. So we'll wait and see what happens here. While they're discussing it at the scorer's table, it's a 4-on-3 now for the Raiders. Petrosinelli goes to the box. The ensuing faceoff on the 4-on-3, Raiders win it. Well, that stat sheet's going to look like a novel by the end of this game. Samosi takes the puck and dumps it off to Bizarro at the end wall. Bedford beats everyone to it, tries to work that puck up and out. Comes to Koshlewski at the near point. Now Samosi curls in the slot. Puck taken off his stick. Now one shot, then two there by Bizarro on the one-timer. Hits the post, and it's saved by Bedford. No goal. Oh, very, very close to the Raiders potting their third there. Instead, a post save and a goalie save keeps them out of the back of the net, and we still have a tie hockey game here. Ensuing faceoff is going to be Bizarro, Samosi, Koshlewski, and Gosler. Bizarro tries to win that over to Gosler. Gosler fires in at the near half wall. Puck now comes around to the near corner. Comes up to Bizarro, and Bizarro scores. That's a Raiders goal. Dom Bizarro, after the offensive zone faceoff, pots that one on the man advantage. And the Raiders retake the lead 3-2. Just 30 seconds left to go in the first period. The Raiders were able to steal a goal there in the offensive zone. And it's Dom Bizarro from the near point, up and into the net. Well, if you like penalties, this has been your game, but the goals are starting to come as the Raiders are winning 3-2. Bedford now breaks into the zone on the faceoff. Expertly guided to the far corner there by Katonah, who hits the glass on his clearance. And we'll get into defensive zone faceoff after that deflected up and out of play. 14 seconds left to go here. Now 13 as the clock has stopped. Now it's 4-on-4 hockey. And it's going to be Steinfink, Samosi, Bizarro, and Tanoff out there for the Raiders. Little conversation going on between the referee and the clock keeper as the clock continues to run, despite the whistle having blown. We've got 8 seconds on the clock now. Looks like they're going to delay running this for a few seconds as the Raiders break out. Bizarro looking for Samosi in the neutral zone. Samosi picks up at the near point. He knocks that puck in. Just 5 seconds left to go here in the first period. Bizarro in on the forecheck, eliminates his man, and that's going to do it for the first. It's going to be Raiders 3, Bears 2. And when we come back, we should still have some 4-on-4 hockey for at least 53 seconds. Stick around. Puck drop for period 2 coming up next. Well, as the Raiders come back over the bench here for period 2, we do have time to visit with another one of our sponsors. Today's Game on Midnight Sports is sponsored by Holiday Cards. Hockey fans, it's that time of year again. Your mailboxes will fill up with more than just your usual property tax bill, your water bill, and your electric bill. Instead, you'll be opening envelopes and saying things like, "Who are these people again?" And, "How do we know them?" You can also play the fun game of trying to decide whether the card is from a distant relative or just a person you worked with 3 jobs ago. It's Holiday Cards, coming to a mailbox near you. Well, all right. Looks like period 2 upcoming. 15 more minutes on the board. Raiders nursing a 1-goal lead here. 4-on-4 hockey for the next 53 seconds. Of course, unless another penalty is called. Raiders win that face-off to Gosler. Gosler now tries to work that up farther through the neutral zone. Puck comes to him in the neutral zone. Now he gains the offensive zone. Look out. He's got that wrist shot. Puck goes just wide. Fauci tries to collect at the far half wall. He works that over. And to Tanoff, who tries a long shot in, Puck sticked aside there. Raiders try and come away with it. Finkelstein now in the forecheck. He's able to take the puck off his man. Tries a tight angle shot. It's saved there by Bedford. And we'll get a stoppage in play with 14:34 left to go here in the second period. Some good push coming out of the break there by the Raiders. It's going to be an offensive zone draw to the Bedford goalie's right coming up next. And our favorite player, 2x4, is blocking our view once again. Bizarro takes over the puck. He works that down, cycles it all the way around. Bedford's going to come away with this with a little extra ice out there. There's not the usual far half wall forward waiting for that reverse pass. Now the puck comes to Samosi, though. He works it up to the blue line. He finds Tanoff. Tanoff, a long shot in. Rebound there, and that's a goal. That's a Dom Bizarro goal again on the rebound. Long shot from Tanoff, and after the pass from Samosi, and the Raiders take a 2-goal lead at the start of the second period here. Now Bizarro on the score sheet again after a well-worked puck in the offensive zone. First finds the blue line. Long shot comes in from the top of the slot. The rebound gets potted by Bizarro. Raiders have a quick meeting here at center ice, trying to stay hard on the puck. It's Samosi, Bizarro, Koshlewski, and Aiden out there. Bizarro wins that puck back to Koshlewski. Koshlewski dances around his man. Puck comes just off his stick, but to Bizarro. Bizarro on the wrist shot again. Rolls off his stick before he's able to do much with it. Bizarro gets it back in the offensive zone. Works it up to Koshlewski. Works it farther to Samosi. Samosi now on the forehand. Push wide. Leaves it for Bizarro. Bizarro works it back to Samosi. Still Samosi on the puck. Tries to work it farther. Bedford takes over and cycles around to the weak side. Bizarro now tries to pick up the puck in the near corner. Tries to send that farther. It's cut out once by Bedford, but not twice. Samosi back to Bizarro. Bizarro on the puck, works it down to Samosi. Samosi tries to go backhand, forehand on his man. Puck just comes off his stick at the last second, and now Bedford's rolling. They're through the neutral zone is Bedford. Bedford on the forehand. Long stick of Aiden, tries to keep his man wide. Shot comes in, and no, Bedford scores. How did that puck get through? Oh, my. Well, that's a Bedford goal, and just like that, it's 4-3. And that puck somehow snuck through. And the Raiders only have that 1-goal lead now. Well, 13:26 left to go here in the second period. And Bedford is able to sneak a goal in. And so the Raiders will have to push back immediately. It's Marchuka, Vigliotti, Kalemba at center ice. They've got Koshlewski and Aiden with them. Puck now comes up to Marchuka, still at the center dot. He's able to take over and work that over to Vigliotti. Vigliotti on the forehand, hits his man with the shot. Puck bounces up, and now Bedford comes the other way. It's Bedford across center ice. Bedford on the forehand, tries to send something into Speaker. He's sick of the shots coming into the blue paint. He's able to stick that aside and then save the ensuing tight angle shot. Now Koshlewski with the puck, tries to work that up to Kalemba. It comes up to the near point and then worked down farther by Bedford. Bedford still works that farther into the zone. They pick it up at the the end wall. And Koshlewski will try and work his man and take the puck off him. It comes to Kalemba. Kalemba on the forehand. He's going to be able to pass this out. Oh, my gosh. He took a giant hit there and went flying. And we get a call. And Kalemba is up, skating around after he went flying for that hit. And we'll see what the call is here. It's going to go against Bedford with 12:44 left to go. It'll be an offensive zone draw for the Raiders, but most importantly, Kalemba is up and skating around and looks no worse for the wear. 2-10, it looks like, against Bedford. And so it's going to be Raiders 5-on-4 hockey here at 12:44 left to go in the second period. Berliner wins that face-off forward and pours in and try and get that puck back on the forecheck. It's now Meyerowicz over. Puck hops off his stick, and Bedford's going to try and break out on the kill here. They come weak side, and Marchuka's going to track this puck down in the defensive zone. Marchuka on the forehand. He's harassed by a man. He goes point to point over to Gosler. Gosler turns with the puck on his backhand. Sticks lifted. Puck comes out of the zone, but Bedford has no one in the offensive zone, and they're going to kill more of this penalty by just skating it back to their defensive zone. They come weak side. Raiders quickly pour over to cut out any threat there. Bedford still on the weak side, curling into the high slot. Now they find a man on the forehand that goes up and high over the cage. Bedford on the puck. They're still on the forehand as Bedford tries to work it in deeper. Gosser now chips that up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz chips it farther, and now Berliner is going to track down this puck in the offensive end. He's taken out of the play there. No call coming. Bedford reverses the other way. They've got a 2-on-3, does Bedford. They're down a man. A minute and 11 seconds left to go here. They come in on Speaker. That shot goes wide of the cage after a deflection in the high slot. Now Gosler picks up the puck. This is turning into a track meet. Gosler with the puck at center ice. Has it come off his stick. Bedford tries to cut it the other way. Bedford now comes in the offensive zone after dangling around one man and then two. And then it's finally cut out there by Luke Marchuka, who curls around his own net. And he's on the forehand. He's going to skate this out of his zone. Marchuka now at center ice. He's got Berliner down the right wing. Marchuka takes it himself. He's at the far dot. He's in on goal. Tries to go up and over the Bedford shoulder. Misses the cage. Petrosinelli picks it up here at the near point. Works it over to Marchuka in the high slot. Marchuka on the wrist shot. Puck rolls in front. It's kicked aside there by the Bedford goalie. Slapper comes in there from Marchuka and glove down with 11-12 left to go in the second period. Still 28 seconds left to go on the power play for the Raiders. Well, ensuing face-off, it's going to be Bizarro, Steinfink, Tanoff, Fauci, and Finkelstein out there. Face-off won by Bizarro over to Finkelstein. Puck comes off his stick at the dot. Fauci pours in on the forecheck. Puck comes all the way up to Steinfink, just to the near half wall. Steinfink backs up at the point as Bedford was pouring forward with it. Bedford, though, is offside with 13 seconds left to go. Now 12 on the Raiders' power play. And we'll get a face-off just outside the blue line of the Raiders' defensive zone. Bizarro tries to win that forward. Puck comes back to Steinfink. Steinfink on the puck, and he works it over to Fauci. Fauci now on the puck. He's able to gain the offensive zone and try and dump that puck in deeper. He does. He tracks his own puck down and tries to work it over to Bizarro. Bizarro takes his man out of the play. Fauci skating hard. Puck comes up to the slot. Comes to Fauci. Tries to work it on the forehand. He does. Shot comes in. Hits the goaltender. It's saved. Now the Raiders working hard to get the rebound. It's at the end boards. Bedford works it all the way to the weak side, and Tanoff there at the weak side point just sends that puck in farther to try and keep the zone. Finkelstein pours in on the forecheck and forces Bedford to send a puck all the way long. Icing, though, waved there. Must have hit a Raiders player on the way out of the offensive zone for the Raiders. Raiders behind their own net. Tanoff turns, finds Finkelstein on the backhand. Finkelstein's got Bizarro with him. Puck gets caught in his skates, though, and it's sent out of the zone by Bedford. Bedford now passes that weak side. They're going to beat Steinfink to this puck in the offensive zone as they had a head start. Bedford tries a tight angle shot. Doesn't work out. Steinfink cuts out the threat. He's on the forehand as Steinfink, still in his own zone in the far corner. He works it up to Bizarro. Bizarro chops down that puck and settles it. He's pouring into the offensive zone as Bizarro. He dangles one man. That man blows a tire and takes Bizarro out of the play, at least momentarily. Bizarro works that up to Steinfink. Steinfink on the puck in the slot. Works it over to Tanoff. Tanoff long shot in, just misses the cage, and a redirect in front. Bizarro picks it up at the near half wall. Bizarro tries to work the puck in deeper. Instead, Bedford comes away with it, and they're going to skate this out of the zone as the Raiders have a few tired skaters out there. Long shot comes in on Speaker. His glove there, and he's able to just drop that for Steinfink as Bedford was making a change. Steinfink takes over. He comes weak side to Fauci. Fauci has the puck in the neutral zone, shepherds it farther to the red line, and Bedford takes over. Bedford on the puck now. 9:12 left to go here in the second period. Bedford tries to cut out Tanoff on that play, but Fauci there for support, chips that up to Samosi. Samosi works that in the offensive zone. Offside waved off there as Samosi was able to keep one skate on the line. Samosi now works that puck into Vigliotti. He's looking for a slot pass. Nobody home just yet. Kalemba's, though, able to keep the puck. Kalemba keeps that puck in the zone, and now Bedford uses the wall to get that puck out of the zone. We're getting an icing call here with 8:45 left to go in the second period. Well, if you like action, this is the game for you, folks. Penalties, goals, hits. We've got it all here. So it's going to be an offensive zone draw after that Bedford icing. It's going to still be Samosi, Kalemba, and Vigliotti out there. Aiden and Kishlevsky as the defensive pairing. Face-off won by Samosi to Kishlevsky. He dumps that puck in, hits the wall, and Vigliotti pours forward at the end boards. It's worked over to Kalemba. Kalemba settles that puck down. He's on the backhand, just has to cycle that farther. Bedford's able to cut out the reverse pass and send that puck out of the zone. Aiden now settles down the puck, tries to work that weak side. Instead, it comes to Bedford, who comes into the zone. Samosi on the back check, guides that all the way to the weak side. There's a Bedford man in front, now covered by Kozlowski. Samosi with the long stick takes over, goes behind his own net on the backhand, tries to work that to Columba, and we're going to get a penalty call here on Bedford as Speaker leaves the crease. Weak side pass, looking for Vigliotti. He's going to track that puck down at least momentarily. He looks for a teammate in the high slot, but it'll be touched up first by Bedford at 8:05. We're going to go back to what we're used to, which is one team being down a skater in this game as Bedford goes to the box for tripping. Well, 5-on-3 upcoming here for the Raiders. Not even halfway through this game yet, ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me, 5-on-4 coming up. Despite the fact that there are two Bedford players in the box, one still serving the 10 minutes of his 10-2. Ensuing faceoff, won by the Raiders. Shot comes in by Gossler, deflected by Berliner. It goes just wide. Now the puck comes to Petrosinelli, finds Marchuka, who works that puck on the backhand in deeper at the near point. Petrosinelli picks up and cycles with Berliner. Berliner there for support. Works it all the way up, does Petrosinelli to Marchuka. Marchuka dumps that back in, except Bedford gets there first, and they break out of their zone. Bedford through the neutral zone now. Bedford in the offensive zone, trying to put a shot on Cage. Speaker just dumps that out of the glove again, as Bedford kills more of the penalty. And Marchuka picks up the puck behind his own net. Marchuka in his own defensive end, looking for options. He finds Meyerowicz all the way at the offensive blue line. Meyerowicz sends a shot in off the blocker of the Bedford goalie, and Berliner looks to take over. Instead, it's cycled over. Meyerowicz now fires in on the forecheck, tries to beat his man to it. Bedford there first, but it only goes so far as Marchuka. Marchuka, long wrist shot in. Rebound there, pops up and over the cage. Meyerowicz tries to work that out to the slot in front. Berliner there to tuck it in on the goaltender, but the goaltender stays strong on that near post, and it stays. Raiders 4, Bedford 3. 7:06 left to go here in the second period. Still 1:01 left to go on the power play for the Raiders, and they'll get some new skaters out there to keep pumping goals in on the Bedford goaltender. It's Pizarro, Finkelstein, and Fauci as the forwards. Tanoff and Steinfink as the defensive pair. Pizarro wins that over to Finkelstein, who works it up to Tanoff. Tanoff switches to the backhand, dumps that down to Pizarro. Pizarro curls at the near dot, looks into the slot. Puck's deflected to the end wall, and now Fauci retrieves for Pizarro, gets the return pass from Fauci, who sends it right back to Pizarro. They're playing pitch and catch out there right now, folks. Pizarro tries to work that puck up to the point. It comes up to Steinfink at the point. Steinfink at his own blue line. He's trying to dance around his man so he can keep the puck in the zone. Instead, Bedford comes away with it. Now Tanoff cuts out the threat in the neutral zone. Steinfink on the puck now, works the puck past his man, kicks it to himself and forward in the offensive zone, but without possession. 28 seconds left to go here on the power play. Fauci's able to keep the zone, though. Dump that down to Pizarro. Pizarro curls with the puck in the far corner. Pizarro on the puck. Taken out of the play, but he's able to slap that puck over to Tanoff. But it looks like we're going to get another stoppage in play here as the net came off its moorings. So we get a quick whistle there as the net was off its moorings. 17 seconds left to go on the Raiders power play. And this faceoff's going to come just outside the zone as the Raiders were adjudged to have knocked the net off its moorings. It's Samosi right here at the near dot. He wins that faceoff to Kozlowski. Kozlowski pours in. He's got Vigliotti over there with him. Kozlowski tries to turn around his man on the backhand. It's taken off his stick just at the last second. Puck lifted up, and a bouncing puck does escape the zone. Samosi will have to turn. That's going to do it for the Raiders power play. We're going to be back to 5-on-5 skating with 6:05 left to go here in the second period. Samosi with the puck still on his stick. Lost over to Columba. Columba picks it up. He's on the forehand. He's able to dance around one man who was looking to take him out of the play. Now Bedford curls into the zone. Still Bedford in the slot. They're offside, though, is Bedford. And at 5:51 in the second period, we'll get another stoppage in play. This faceoff should come just outside the zone. Raiders defensive zone, that is. And it will. It'll be Samosi at the dot. He's got Columba and Vigliotti out there with him. Aiden and Kozlowski as well. Face-off won by Bedford, but the Raiders come away with it in their own zone. Aiden uses the boards to get that out of the zone, and now Bedford's going to come right back in. They're at the high slot is Bedford, trying to get on the forehand. Send a shot high, hits Aiden up high. He's doubled over in some pain. He's able to block that shot. Aiden's going to go to the bench. Looks to be hurt on that play. Raiders desperate, now playing 4-on-5 hockey as the Raiders try and get a defenseman out there after Aiden was hurt on that shot block. Samosi now with the puck, comes into the offensive zone. He's got possession on the backhand, blows a tire there, tries to wing it around to the blue paint, looking for Vigliotti. Vigliotti has it on a stick, but only momentarily. He's gotten it back now. In the far corner has Vigliotti. Vigliotti with the puck. Slapped up, but not out of the zone yet. Vigliotti looking for a slot pass. Comes right back to him. He tries to turn on the forehand. He's still on the forehand. He sends a shot in. Kalemba now tries to lift it over the goaltender's leg. Doesn't get through. A stick gets in the way, and now Bedford's on the break. Gosler turns. Bedford in. Now on a mini break. Now a full break. They're in on speaker. Pushed wide is Bedford there. No shot coming. Wonderful defensive play by Silas Gosler to track back there on the back check. Gosler now with the puck on his stick. He's on the backhand looking for a teammate. He finds Kalemba at center ice. Kalemba now comes into the offensive zone. Kalemba on the backhand trying to work that puck farther. He's rounded his man looking for Gosler at the net front. Everything's a little disjointed out there right now as Bedford tries to break the other way. Steinfink's going to get ahead of his man on this play, and he's going to be on the forehand as he curls all the way around his net. Marchuka there to settle things down, takes the puck onto his forehand. He's got Meyerowicz ahead of him as well as Gosler. Meyerowicz takes over the puck after a touch pass by Gosler. Hits a skate in front at the blue line, and the Raiders get turned around and have to go right back the other way. 4:05 left to go here in the second period. Hard to believe there's still that much of the game left. Gosler reverses. He finds Petrosinelli over at the near half wall. The players are flying out there now. Bedford pours right back in the offensive zone. That puck gets sticked aside before it comes in on goal. Gosler breaks out of his own zone. Gosler looks weak side. He finds Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has Marchuka with him. Meyerowicz goes around one man, and then the puck comes off his skate all the way to the end wall. Puck still in the offensive zone, at least momentarily. Gosler tries to fire it farther. He finds Marchuka. Marchuka in the high slot. On the forehand, puck comes off his stick as he goes around one man. Bedford's going to be able to get this puck out of the zone. Bedford on the forehand. Sends it weak side. Marchuka there to cut out the threat, but then Bedford picks it right up off the skates. Bedford now curls in. They're on the backhand. They try a bad angle shot. Speaker sticks that up and aside. Gosler now tries to pick up at the near half wall. Gosler with the puck. Works that over. But we'll get a call again here for roughing. Looks like it's going to go against the Raiders, and it'll be Petrosinelli to the box. Well, with 3:12 left to go here in the second period, we are again back to 5-on-4 skating. And it's going to be Tanoff, Marchuka, Berliner, and a Mishry Raiders skater. As they are out of view right now. There it is. It's Koslewski, just behind our old friend, the 2x4. Now we're getting some warnings here at the bench of the Raiders coaches not to secretly communicate up to the skybox. Ensuing face-off, won by the Raiders. Tanoff has it on the forehand. He tries to chip that up to Berliner. Bedford cuts that out. Remember, they're still on the power play here is Bedford. Bedford now curling in the offensive zone. They deke around Berliner, but they keep it at the blue line. Now they have some room at the slot. It comes in on speaker. He's able to just glove that down for Koslewski, who's going to skate this out of the zone. Koslewski still with the puck on his stick. Gains the red line, dumps it in. Expert penalty-killing play there by Nate Koslewski. Berliner's going to pick this puck up. He works it up to Marchuka at the near half wall. Marchuka sends a shot wide of the cage. Tanoff's going to get here first at the far half wall. He just dumps that puck in deeper. Berliner's still waiting for that puck by the cage. Now Bedford takes over in their own zone. They're through the neutral zone as Bedford, 2-on-1 developing if they hurry. They pass it over to the weak side, cut out by Tanoff, though, no shot coming. Bedford still on the puck. Puck comes up to Marchuka at the near half wall. He's able to work it up to the blue line, but no farther. He does gum up his man long enough for a bouncing puck to leave the zone. Puck kicked there by Berliner, and we're going to get a stoppage in play here for an offside call at 2:14 left to go. 1:02 left to go on the Raiders' penalty kill. Well, it'll be Bizarro, Samosi, Steinfink, and Aiden as the 4 Raiders skaters. Puck comes over to Aiden on the face-off win. This is everybody in the neutral zone, comes in right on goal for Bedford, and they're sticked aside there. Bizarro in on the forecheck, takes the puck from his man, tries to find Samosi right in the low slot. Late stick by Bedford, cuts out the threat. Now Bedford has a 1-on-2 coming the other way. Swipe there by Aiden, up and out of the zone. And Bizarro leaves that for Samosi. Samosi now through the neutral zone. Still 4-on-5 for the Raiders. Samosi looking for Bizarro in the slot. Nearly connects with him. Again, a late stick by Bedford. Able to keep that puck from finding the goal. Comes in on Samosi. Ephus pitch there. He's able to just guide it on goal, but it's saved nicely by the Bedford goaltender as it was a bit A change of speed pitch with 1:40 left to go here in the second period. 28 seconds left to go on the penalty kill for the Raiders. Be an offensive zone draw for them. Gosler, Tanoff, Bizarro, Samosi out there for the Raiders. Bizarro looking to win this on the forehand. Swipes at it. Puck misses all sticks. Samosi works that farther forward. Puck now comes over weak side. Gosler gives chase in the neutral zone. He's going to track all the way back into his own end to pick up this puck. He's got the puck behind his own cage now. He waits. Gets pressured by Bedford there. And now fights behind his own net for the puck. It comes over to Tanoff. He uses the boards and gets that up and out of the zone with 1:20 left to go here in the second period. Just 7 seconds left to go on the kill. Impressive forecheck there by Bizarro. Sees a point-to-point pass by Bedford finally connect. Now Bedford into the offensive zone. They miss on the one-timer, but pick up the puck at the near half wall. Bedford now desperate for the puck. Puck comes out to the neutral zone. Out of the box was, Marchuka was onto the ice, not out of the box. He was not the penalized player, looking for a quick breakaway. Puck just sits at center ice here. Samosi works that back to Gosler, who jams that puck farther, and then Samosi takes over again. Backhanded pass with 49 seconds left. Gains the offensive zone, does Bizarro. Bizarro at the near corner, looking to curl that around to Marchuka. Marchuka sends that farther to Bizarro. Marchuka picks up the pass again and does find Bizarro this time in the near corner. It's two Raiders down there working hard to cycle the puck. Puck comes into the blue paint, stick to side there by the Bedford goaltender. Bedford's going to take back over here with 30 seconds left to go. They're looking for that diagonal pass. Unable to connect as Bizarro takes the puck off his man. Bizarro working hard on that puck. He's on the backhand. He goes all the way around to the near corner now, thinking about working up to the near point. Instead, Marchuka takes over there, and then Samosi with the puck on his forehand looks to work that into Marchuka for a nice touch pass in the blue paint. Instead, Bedford gets in the way, and with 10 seconds left to go, puck just sits in the far corner. Puck still in the far corner now. Berliner on the ice, tries to cut out any threat. Just 1 second left to go here in the second period, and that's going to do it for two. It's Raiders 4, Bedford 3 after two. Stick around. I'm not sure what this game is missing. It's had everything so far for your youth hockey bingo card, but who knows? Maybe something else very strange will happen. In any event, we'll see you in just a few minutes for period 3. Well, puck drop for period 3 coming up next, but it does give us time to visit with our last sponsor today. Today's Game on Midnight Sports is brought to you by Balancing Your Checkbook. Hockey fans, it's 2022, and you can call someone on the other side of the world with only the phone in your pocket. But who wants to do that when you can time travel to the 1600s? That's right. It's time to balance your checkbook. Rather than pay for something with a phone or a credit card, isn't it far more fun to write out the full name of your payment recipient, the amount of money you're paying them, sign your name, fill out an envelope, put a stamp on that envelope, mail your check to someone, worry that your check will be stolen or lost, and then subtract the check amount from the ledger in your checkbook? Balancing your checkbook. Still relevant for some reason. Third period puck drop. Bedford wins it, comes through the neutral zone now. They dump in. Raiders will turn and give chase. We're at 5-on-5 skating, at least briefly here, until the next penalty gets called. Aiden turns with the puck. He finds Kalemba over at the far corner, tries to work it farther. Instead, it's kicked deeper by Bedford. Now the Raiders working hard to get this puck out of the zone. Comes up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz has a 2-on-2 developing with Vigliotti down the right wing. Vigliotti curls to stay onside. Meyerowicz tries to work that farther. He's got support from Kalemba. Kalemba now with the puck on his stick. Backhands that off his teammate, and it does find Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz with a shot in, just misses the cage, and Bedford tries to pick up, but Aiden gets there first. He's able to keep the zone momentarily, and then Bedford chips it farther, and Vigliotti will turn and give chase. Vigliotti on the puck now. 14-19 left to go here in the third period. Last frame. Raiders work that weak side up to Kalemba, who shuffles it farther, and Bedford takes over at their own blue line. They in turn come weak side, does Bedford through the neutral zone, and then they gain the offensive zone. Bedford curls into the slot. That's their favorite move. They're in on Speaker, taken out of the play there. No arm raised, as the net is off its moorings. Looks like Koslewski might have gotten the worst of it there as he went into the cage and the net got knocked off of its moorings with 13:59 left to go here in the third period. It's going to be a defensive zone draw coming to Speaker's left. It's Tanoff and Gosler as the defensive pairing. Fauci, Finkelstein, and Marchuka out there as the forwards. Bedford wins that over to the slot, still in the slot. Shot comes in, doesn't get to Speaker, comes to Gosler. He's able to kick that farther out, and then another shot comes in, and Speaker's able to just make a positional save there as he couldn't see the puck. It did hit his leg pad, and he froze it with 13:50 left to go here in the third period. Another face-off coming to his left. It'll be Marchuka still at the dot. Looking to win this on the backhand. Comes up, hits Speaker right in the cage, and he's able to keep that puck out. Fauci tries to work it farther. He leaves it for Marchuka. Marchuka through the neutral's end now. He's one-on-one with his man. Marchuka on the forehand. He's able to round his man. Can't quite get a shot on goal, but then he follows it up with the backhander and puts it in. Marchuka with the goal. Oh my, it looked like the scoring threat there was off. And yet, Marchuka with the quick backhander, able to beat the Bedford goaltender 5-hole, despite our reverse camera angle there. It's Raiders 5, Bedford 3. 13:34 left to go here in the third period. Marchuka tries to win that over to Fauci. Instead, Bedford comes away with it, and they dump that puck in, but a little too soon as it goes into the Raiders bench, and we'll get a quick stoppage in play just 7 seconds later. It's going to be a face-off just outside the offensive zone for Bedford. It's Finkelstein, Marchuka, and Fauci out there. Gosler and Tanoff as well. Bedford wins that forward, pours in the offensive zone. Fauci quickly turns it around, and now Marchuka has the puck again. It's 1-on-2. Fauci in for support now to make it 2-on-2. Marchuka steps back, looks for Finkelstein in the high slot. Finkelstein on the forehand, sends a soft roller in on cage. Fauci there to clean up any rebound, but no rebound coming, and we'll get another stoppage in play. 13:12 left to go in the third period. But time to remind you, you're watching Midnight Sports. All the youth hockey you can handle, and then some. Midnight Sports. Well, near dot offensive zone face-off for Marchuka. He's got Steinfink and Koslewski out there with him. Marchuka wins that forward. Bedford picks up and tries to work it out of the zone. Steinfink there to cut out the threat initially and work that puck in farther. It rolls off his stick, though, and Koslewski now turns and picks up the puck in his own end. Works that weak side, looking for Fauci. Just misses his stick, and Bedford tries to work it back the other way. Bouncing puck off a Bedford stick, hits Fauci, and goes out of play, and we'll get another stoppage at 12:52 left to go here in the third period. Well, folks, it might be our longest stretch at 5-on-5 hockey here today, and the game is better for it. It's been jumping ever since the third period started. Center ice faceoff, won by Berliner over to Steinfink. Steinfink tries to send that in farther. He does. Finds a Bedford stick as Bizarro's on the forecheck, able to keep that in the zone as Berliner. Now the puck does roll out of the zone. Koslewski with the puck on his stick. Has to quickly turn that over to Samosi. Samosi works that farther. Bedford takes over in their own end. Behind their own net is Bedford. And they're trying to work this puck up and out of the zone. They're at the near half wall. Steinfink backs up as Bedford pours forward. But instead, it's cut out by Berliner over to Samosi. Samosi dangles one man. He's on the backhand looking for a Raiders stick in front. Oh, it's gloved down there. Bouncing, deflected puck. Nice save by the Bedford goaltender. And that's going to keep this a 5-3 game with 12:22 left to go in the third period. There's your scoreboard for you, folks. Don't think I forgot about you at home. Ensuing faceoff comes to Gosler. He tries a wrist shot in, hits a shin guard in front. Now Bedford's going to break the other way. Bedford across their own blue line, looking for the weak side pass. Comes up to Aiden, who cuts out the threat on the backhand, works it over to Berliner. Nice soft touch pass there by Aiden to Berliner. Berliner now through the neutral zone. Berliner in the offensive end. He finds Bizarro on the forehand. Deflected shot there. Doesn't reach the cage. Now the puck comes the other way on a Bedford stick. It's sticked there on the backhand. Bedford in on very wide break, trying to get it on Speaker. It's cut out again by Gosler as the shot turned into a bit of a half shot when it hit a stick. And Samosi on the puck at center ice. Still Samosi at center ice. Now he's into the offensive end. Samosi curls around behind the Bedford cage and loses the puck there. And Bedford will come away with it in their own zone. They're going to skate this out of the zone is Bedford. Bedford through the neutral zone now with speed. They're in the zone. Shoved aside there by Aiden as they go for the puck. It's all the way around the cage. Speaker goes post to post. Shot doesn't come on net anyway. And now Bizarro works that puck farther in the neutral zone, and Bedford takes over. Bedford with speed again through the neutral zone, going around 1 man and 2. It's a 2-on-2 now into the slot. Screen shot comes in, rebounds there. Speaker unable to stick aside the rebound, and Bedford scores. And it's Bedford 4, Raiders 5. After that shot is touched in on the rebound. All right, back to a 1-goal lead for the Raiders here. Meyerowicz wins the ensuing faceoff forward. Kalemba comes away with it at the blue line. They come into the offensive zone, do the Raiders. Kalemba tries a shot on goal. It's hit in front by a Bedford man, and now it worked over all the way to the near half wall. Tanoff tries a shot, hits the the side of the cage. Rolling puck there, sits momentarily, and now Bedford tries to work it out of their zone. Bedford, a long stretch pass, cut out by Steinfink in the neutral zone, and he goes point to point, does Steinfink. He finds Tanoff, who looks for Vigliotti, who tries to get that puck in deeper. Unable to do so, and Bedford will come the other way through the neutral zone. Bedford works that puck up to the blue line, but no farther, as it's cut out there by Steinfink. Steinfink works that puck up to Vigliotti. Puck comes off his stick, and Bedford tries to turn the other way. Steinfink now works that puck up again in the neutral zone, finds a Bedford stick, and Bedford goes weak side. They gain the offensive zone, does Bedford. They're looking for that slot pass. They like that high slot shot, and finding a rebound in front. Unable to do so this time was Bedford. Vigliotti is able to clear the zone through Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz now tries to track down the puck in the neutral zone. Bedford turns it right the other way, but not out of the zone, and Vigliotti tries a shot again from the near half wall that doesn't get through. Now the Raiders fighting for the puck. It comes to Tanoff at the high point. Slapper comes in. Puck rolls momentarily there. Oh, it hits the post. The Raiders were that close to reestablishing their 2-goal lead. Instead, the post gets in the way, and Bedford's still alive here. Long shot comes in from a tight angle. Now Meyerowicz with the slapper through the slot. Finds a Koslewski stick in the low slot, but unable to connect with the shot. Raiders do keep the zone. Vigliotti takes a big hit right in front of the Bedford bench. Koslewski does the same, but works the puck farther. Now Kalemba in on the forecheck. And Meyerowicz does as well on the near side. Meyerowicz on the forecheck now, looking for the puck to work it in deeper. Tanoff holding the near point. Puck sits there, but it's chipped over his head, and Tanoff will give chase for that puck, but it does cross the end line, and it'll be icing on Bedford as we get a whistle that not all the bench players heard clearly as they were trying to chase down that puck in the Raiders zone. Well, offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. 9:34 left to go in this one, and it looks like it'll be Marchuka, Finkelstein, Fauci, Koslewski, and Aiden out there at the near dot. Marchuka wins that on the backhand, tries to turn and sneak a shot past the Bedford goaltender. Instead, he doesn't connect with it. Now Bedford on the break. Puck comes all the way in. Speaker's able to stick that aside, and Aiden will pick it up in the defensive zone. Works that puck over to Koslewski. Puck taken off him momentarily. Raiders have a lot of support back there, and Marchuka has the puck. He works that to Finkelstein. Finkelstein works that puck farther, but not out of the zone just yet. Bedford tries to turn with it. Puck hops over a Bedford stick, and now Finkelstein dumps that out of the zone. Marchuka and Fauci in on the forecheck. Puck sits in the high slot momentarily, but Bedford's able to get that out of danger. Marchuka takes it over in the neutral zone. Marchuka with the puck on his stick. He breaks into the offensive zone. He's got Finkelstein down the right wing. Tries a high shot over the goaltender's shoulder. Misses the cage. Koslewski will keep the zone. He sends one in on the goaltender there, and it's frozen down. And we'll get another stoppage in play with 8:50 left to go here in the third period. It gives us time to remind you one last time. You're watching Midnight Sports. If you've already hit that like, follow, or subscribe button, you're the best. And if you haven't, well, what are you waiting for? Midnight Sports. Now puck dropped in the offensive end. Bedford's going to come away with this one. They're able to pass that out of the zone as Bedford. And then they dump it on in once they gain center ice. Puck comes all the way behind the cage. Steinfink looks to pick it up there. Puck rolls into the slot. It's covered up there by Speaker as the puck hit a player in front and came right in on net. And so with 8:35 left to go, it's going to be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. It'll be Berliner, Samosi, Steinfink, Bizarro, and Gosler out there as the 5 skaters. Berliner wins that over to the slot. Samosi comes away with it. He's kicking it forward. He gets it out of the zone. Bedford has to clear the zone, and Berliner gums up the ensuing entry pass. Now they're over in front of the scorer's table. Berliner comes away with it. He's got a 2-on-3 developing with Bizarro. Berliner on the forehand. He finds Bizarro on the forehand. Bizarro just can't pull the trigger at the last second as the puck would not settle down for him. Bedford now working hard for the puck. Bedford loses the puck there. Puck comes over to Gosser. He's able to keep the zone. He turns. He slaps it in farther. Now Bedford's able to chip that up to a forward, and it looks like they're going to get this through the neutral zone, maybe into the offensive zone, until a quick stick there by Steinfink turns it the other way. Berliner on the puck now. Tries to leave it for Bizarro and then takes it right back over himself. Berliner on the forehand. Sends it in on goal. Bobbled there by the Bedford goaltender. Berliner takes a big hit at the end wall, but then gets up and finds the puck right under him. Samosi now turns the puck. Tries to reverse it. Turns that puck at the end boards over to a teammate, but Bedford comes away with it. Now Bedford through the neutral zone. They're through with speed. This is a breakaway now. Bedford in on Speaker. Speaker shuts it down with the leg pad at the last second there. 7:30 left to go here in the third period. That breakaway shut down, and the Raiders live to fight another day. Puck worked over to Bizarro now in the neutral zone and finds Berliner. Gains the offensive zone, but his feet were offside, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 7:19 left to go here in the third period. It's still Raiders 5, Bears 4. Now this faceoff's going to come just outside the offensive blue line for the Raiders. It's Meyerowicz, Vigliotti, Kalemba out there, Koshlewski and Tanoff as the defensive pair. It's one forward by the Raiders. They come into the offensive zone. Kalemba by himself works that puck farther, and then it comes up to Meyerowicz. Tries to flick the puck in. Instead, hits the roof, if you can believe it. We have a beautiful old barn here at the Harvey School, but the roof is curved, and by the glass on the far side, it's pretty easy to hit one of the support beams. In any event, it's not quite as fancy as punting the ball into the Cowboys Stadium scoreboard, but it's the youth hockey equivalent of an offensive zone draw here. Meyerowicz at the far dot. Looking to win this on the backhand over to the slot. Instead, wins it forward to himself, and Bedford only able to push that up to Tanoff. Tanoff looking for a deflection right in front. Misses all sticks, and Koshlewski works that puck in deeper. Now a rolling puck comes up to Tanoff at the blue line. He slaps that farther. It's saved nicely there by the Bedford goaltender, and Meyerowicz works it in deeper. Kalemba now on the puck. He's on the forehand. He's got a man all over him. Bedford's able to separate him from the puck, and they're going to skate this out of their zone as Bedford through the neutral zone with speed. Bedford comes around, and Bedford scores. That's a 2-on-1 there as they're able to gain the zone as the Raiders got turned there. And Bedford ties this one up with just 6 minutes and 38 seconds left to go. It's Bedford 5, Raiders 5. Well, that was the play Bedford had been wanting for a lot of the game. Coming up the wing, trying to round a defenseman and creating a 2-on-1. Ensuing faceoffs, Marchuka. He tries to win that forward. Bedford comes away with it, but then it's cut out by Finkelstein. Sends it right over to Marchuka. Marchuka now gains the offensive zone. He's got Fauci with him. Puck comes off his stick, and Fauci finds it and dumps that in farther. Raiders are going to need to push here to retake the lead after holding the lead for most of the game. Bedford now with speed again through the neutral zone. Nice back check there by Finkelstein. Stops the play, and Bedford should be offside, but it's not called. Bedford is able to keep the puck in the zone. It comes over to Steinfink. Steinfink on the forehand, looking up for Marchuka. Bedford's able to keep the puck in the zone momentarily until Steinfink chops it away from his man. Fauci tries to dance around his man, leaves it for Steinfink, who works it farther. Finkelstein looks to take over. He takes a big hit there, does Finkelstein. We've got a penalty called here. Let's see if Bedford touches up first. They do. So with 5:52 left to go here in the third period, Bedford's going to the box, as this is a tie ball game, 5-5. It's going to be Fauci, Marchuka, Finkelstein, Steinfink. Looks like Gosler out there to take this offensive zone draw. Well, looks like the Raiders are going to need another skater here, and they have one. Steinfink off, Berliner on to take this draw. Now some confusion here as to whether Raiders have 5 skaters. They do, and so it'll be Berliner trying to win this on the backhand. Berliner does win it on the backhand. Finkelstein lifts the stick of his man, comes to Marchuka. High shot comes in, saved nicely there by the Bedford goaltender. A Well-designed set play there by the Raiders. Sees a shot on goal, gobbled up by the Bedford goaltender chest. And with 5:45 left to go, get another offensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Berliner again wins that back to Marchuka. Marchuka waits, finds a lane. Shot comes in low on the leg pad. Scrambling for the puck is the Bedford goaltender, and it goes to the end wall. Now the Raiders try and work that up front. It's very close to the near post. They can't get a stick on it. They're being pushed over, and Bedford's going to come away with it. Bedford through their zone here. Bedford into the neutral zone, into the offensive zone is Bedford, trying to work it onto the forehand, dangling around one man but not two. Marchuka now comes back the other way with it. Marchuka on the puck. He's on the forehand. He curls, try and set up the offense here as the Raiders are still up a man with 1:22 left to go on the power play. Marchuka all the way into the offensive zone. Marchuka on the puck. He finds Finkelstein, who sends a shot in on goal. And again, it's gobbled up nicely there by the Bedford goaltender. A nice save with 5:04 left to go here in the third period. Well, the Raiders are going to leave the same 5 on the ice here with 1:12 left on the power play. Really looking to get a goal here on this power play push. Berliner wins that on the backhand up to the near point. Puck stays there momentarily. Gosser shot in, took the stick out of his man's hands, and then the puck works in farther. Now Fauci's on the ice. Fauci tries a backhander up to the slot. Puck sits in the low slot momentarily, and then it's won over to the near half wall, but not out by Bedford. Raiders still curling for the puck. Fauci curls into the net front. Bedford's able to chip that up and out of the zone. We should get an icing call here. And we do with 4:37 left to go in this game. It's still 45 seconds left to go on the Raiders power play. They'll get some new skaters out there now to try and retake that 1-goal lead. It'll be Bizarro, Marchuka, Berliner, Meyerwich, and Gosler. So some new skaters as Berliner wins that again on the backhand over to Bizarro. Bizarro works that up to Marchuka. Marchuka on the forehand now at the near point. Marchuka looking for that pass and a deflection in front. It comes to Berliner. He picks up the rebound and he scores. Sam Berliner goal there on the Raiders power play. It's now Raiders 6, Bears 5. With 4:27 left to go, Sam Berliner pots the Luke Marchuka shot. And just about 4 minutes and 27 seconds left to go in this game. Yikes. 270 ticks of the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Samosi moves that forward, ensuing faceoff through the neutral zone. Bedford now is going to push for that tying goal again. Puck comes all the way into the offensive end. Bedford now in their defensive end, takes over the puck, but only so far as Tanoff at the near point. Shot comes in, deflection bounces up and in on the Bedford goaltender. A wonderful save, positional save there by the Bedford goaltender. Cuts out the threat. We get a stoppage in play at 4:09 left to go in the third period. Now that's exactly what you want to see from your point man, sending a shot in that can be deflected, and it was deflected on goal, just not past the goaltender. Bedford now scrambles for this face-off win. Puck sits in the near corner. Still in the near corner. Comes out to the near dot. Now Bedford with speed through the neutral zone. Bedford has a 2-on-2 developing. They try and curl around Steinfink. Unable to do so until they are, but Speaker's able to cover up the rebound after his save there. Shot came in on him. He's able to chest that down in front, and his glove beat the Bedford stick to that puck with 3:52 left to go. It's still a 1-goal Raiders lead. Defensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. They get some new defensemen out there. It's Aiden and Koslewski. Bedford wins that faceoff, tries to cycle that puck in deep. Instead, it's sent out there by Koslewski. And now Bizarro all over his man, gains the offensive end. He's on the forehand. He sends a shot up, hits the goaltender, and goes just wide of the cage. Bizarro still working on the forecheck to get that puck back. Puck comes all the way over to a Bedford stick on the far corner, and Bedford's going to break out of the zone. At least so far as Meyerwich. Meyerwich chops that puck to Bizarro, but Bedford is eventually able to get that puck out of the zone. It's Aiden now on the puck. Aiden works that weak side to Samosi. Samosi with the puck right in front of the skybox here. Bedford now comes back the other way. Bedford into the offensive zone. They try and get on the forehand in the slot. Taken off their stick there by Aiden. A wonderful back check, sees that puck go rink wide. And now the Raiders looking to get the puck out of their zone. 3:05 left to go in this game as the Raiders jostle for the puck. Puck comes to Koslewski. He works that off the boards on his forehand, not out yet. Bedford trying to get a shot off here. Weak side shot, not coming just yet. Speaker down in the cage.
Samosi tries to pick up the puck. He cycles that over to Kishlevsky, who sends that weak side up but not out of the zone. Bedford dancing around Bizarro. Comes in. Long shot comes in. His glove down by Speaker. A wonderful stick there by Aiden prevents the rebound from going in the net after Speaker had knocked down the initial shot. Now Bedford takes over in their own end. Bedford looking to cycle that puck up and out. Raiders get a change of defensemen out there as Bedford breaks into the offensive zone. Bedford on the forehand. Cut out by Gosler, and then the shot goes wide of the cage. Worked over to Samosi, who works at weak side and out of the zone. 2:21 left to go in this game as Bedford curls at their own blue line to pick up the puck. Look for the Bedford goalie to come off the ice here soon. Marchuka with the puck at center ice. He works that puck in deep. Best medicine for the Raiders right now is to get pucks deep and keep them in the offensive zone. Marchuka with the puck on his forehand. Tries to work that puck up to Tanoff. Puck sits there, and Tanoff works it in farther. It's now in the near offensive corner for the Raiders. Kalemba fires in on the forecheck. Puck comes up to Tanoff. Tanoff sends a shot that's sticked aside by the Bedford goaltender. Bedford goaltender can't leave the cage yet until the puck gets out of the zone. Bedford tries to work that puck farther. It comes to Gosler. Gosler works that off the boards to Vigliotti. Vigliotti on the forehand goes just over the cage. Now it's Marchuka to pick up the puck in the near corner. Raiders buzzing now. Ooh, Vigliotti takes a high stick there. No call. Gosler picks up the puck in the neutral zone. 1:32 left to go in this game. Gosler comes right back into the offensive end. On the forehand, he works that puck in deep after a deflection. Bedford picks it up again. Bedford tries to work it around. Bad angle shot there by Vigliotti. Sees the puck come to the high slot. Not out of the zone just yet. Ooh, a quick stick by Tanoff. Finds Marchuka. Marchuka curls with possession in the offensive end. He gets it on the forehand, sends a laser shot in. Rebound loose there. Can't be put in by Kalemba. Kalemba tries a deflection there. Another nice save by the Bedford goaltender. 1:06 left to go in this game. Bedford curls around their own net. Puck comes up to Vigliotti on the forecheck. He tries to hold the zone. Puck now rolls, and Bedford just slaps that out of the zone, but that'll be an icing with 56 seconds left to go in the third period here in Katonah, New York. Now 55 seconds. It's still Raiders 6, Bedford 5 as Bedford searches for that tying goal. Offensive zone draw coming up here for the Raiders. Gotta assume there's going to be a timeout taken by Bedford, and there is. Well, stick around, folks, as Bedford calls a timeout. Just 55 seconds left in this one. If they've got any tricks left in the book, Bedford, they're going to pull them out here, you can be sure. Well, in the interim, everyone here at Midnight Sports, I'd like to wish you a happy holiday season and remind you to stick around here at 4:05 on Midnight Sports. It'll be a different link, but on the Midnight Sports channel for the New York City Cyclones 16U girls game. And the Raiders are back in action tomorrow morning out in the Hamptons, very shishi, at Buckskill Winter Club at 8:45 a.m. Midnight Sports, subject to carrier restrictions. We'll have that coverage for you. We're happy to stand out in the cold. That's an outdoor game, our very own Winter Classic. We'll get cold so that you don't have to. Now, under a minute left to go in this one. Some last-minute strategy here at the Bedford bench, as well as the Raiders bench. Whistle blows. This is going to be an offensive zone draw for the Raiders, but of course you don't, if you're the Raiders, don't want to get too aggressive on this one. As an odd man break the other way could potentially be a problem. Or a problem. All right, the Raiders come over the side of the bench. It's Tanoff, Berliner, Meyerowicz, Gosler, Marchuka. It's going to be Berliner to take this draw at the near dot. Try and win this on the backhand. Oh, nope, over to the slot. Wins it up to the blue line, dumped in deeper by Gosler. Now Berliner fires in on the forecheck. Again, if they can keep this puck in the offensive zone, Bedford goalie can't leave the cage. Now, he can, but it would be unwise. Now Bedford breaks out of their zone. They're through the neutral zone with speed. Harassed there. Taken out of the play by Tanoff, at least momentarily. And Meyerowicz over for cover. Into the offensive end goes Bedford. Bedford gets that sixth skater on the ice. Marchuka has the puck there. It sits in the crease. It's still in the crease. That puck's still there. Now Speaker's able to cover. Oh my gosh, that puck sat in the blue paint for what felt like a lifetime. But the Raiders were able to cut out the threat at the last minute. A couple of key stick lifts and the rest. Oh my. Well, if that didn't get your heart pounding, I don't know what will. And now it looks like the Raiders will call a timeout. with 21 seconds left to go here to go over their defensive zone coverage. Well, there wasn't enough going on in this game, so clearly we needed a little bit of craziness right at the very end. 21 seconds left to go. Raiders get their instructions from their generals. Looks like Bedford's doing the same. And a whistle blown. And now comes the defensive zone draw here for the Raiders. Crucial to get this out of the zone any way they can. Well, it's Marchuka, Tanoff, Gosler, Meyerowicz, and Berliner out there. Bedford with the empty net. They've got 6 skaters out. Trying to get this tying goal. It's Berliner at the dot. Wins that back over to Tanoff. Tanoff takes a swipe at it. Tries to rack that around the boards. It's kept in by Bedford. Still in the zone. Puck comes all the way in high. Gosler bats that aside. It's in the far corner. Still Gosler now on the puck. Worked over by Meyerowicz. Gosler, puck comes out to the crease, but not in anywhere. It's worked out of the zone. Just 5 seconds left to go. That's going to do it for this game as Bedford curls in the neutral zone. Sends a long shot in. Hits Meyerowicz's helmet. And the Raiders have won this one 6-5. Boy, that game had everything. And they celebrate that exhibition win here in Katonah, New York. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. We couldn't have done it without you. And we hope to see you again this afternoon and tomorrow morning right here on Midnight Sports. Until then, stay safe.